This is the last phase of the series from zero, Forex from zero. Especially if you've not just been watching passively, but you've been actively engaging in the tasks that have been setting in previous lessons, which is very important. It's one thing to listen, it's one thing to execute, right? So today, this is just a patch up. I had already started speaking about diving into the psychology part of things in my previous video, and I was speaking about uh, risk management. I had already started speaking about things on psychology, so this is more like a continuation on the conversation we're having in lesson 9. But this is the final session. So these two sessions, lesson 9 and this current lesson 10, are more of things that have to do with you. Just like the way we do analyze the charts, it is important in your journey as a trader you analyze yourselves, because like I told you, there's a bridge between what you know and this. What you know is on this year, and there's what you should do. Acting on what you know is another thing. So the fact that you know something doesn't mean you're going to act accordingly, because knowing something is different from acting consistently on that thing that you know. Do you understand? So that's the thing. So most times it's not that like mistakes you're gonna be making, you're not aware of them. But then we are all humans and we are all bound to mistakes. And especially when it has to do with emotions, like I told you, especially when your money gets involved, that's where like the real test starts for you. So I encourage you as quickly as possible. You shouldn't dwell too much on demo to test and get familiar with the environment, then quickly get involved and fund something, buy a proper account with your own money, so that like your emotions are on the line, because that's where the journey starts. Because a whole lot of traders are profitable on trading view, but then the result is different on MT5. Why do you think that is this psychology aspect of things? Because there's a whole lot going on here that's going to make you self-sabotage that system that's working, right? So that is what we're treating in this video. Even whilst watching this video, even some of the things I say, you're still going to come and find yourself victims of them, eh, of these emotions. And it's not that you're a bad person. It's don't be too hard on yourself. It's human nature. Humans were imperfect, but then what do you do in situations like this? So before I even tell you what trading psychology is and all of the whatnot, it is important. I haven't spoke. Now that we are on the part of analyzing ourselves, journaling is important. Journaling, not the technical side of things. And most people talk about journaling. You know, they talk about you penning down price and what you saw and this. No, but journaling here is you get. What we are trading on the chart is data. So it is important you too on your own side as a trader, especially if you want to do this professionally for the long term, you journal. And that journal is supposed to contain details about yourself. So you're going to be journaling how you felt when you took some trades, right? What was going through your mind? What were you feeling? Even for some trades that you're going to be making mistakes, it's okay to make mistakes, but then how are you sure next time when that same scenario come, you're not going to be making the same mistake? So that's where journaling comes in play, and it's very important. So journaling, you gotta have a book, you gotta have anything that works for you, maybe a notepad, but then you have to document everything going in here, that you think every detail you're gonna be writing them, every of your experiences, what you felt when you took the trade, how you reacted, how you, whether you overcame that emotion or that emotion overcame you. No problem, you're gonna be gathering that data, because on your winning streaks, during your winning streaks as well, you're gonna be documenting them also. So also as Welcome.
Thank you.
You're gonna be documenting everything during your winning streaks. What was happening in your mind? What were you seeing? What were you doing right that was making you win. Because take it or leave it, you're going to go through periods of winning streaks. You're going to go through periods of losing streaks, right? Not because you are doing anything wrong, but sometimes you'll be doing some things wrong. But then, in all of these, in the good days and the bad days, always remember to pen down your experiences, how you felt, good or bad. Because over time, this is what is going to help you adjust and grow better as a trader. Because if you just make a mistake and you feel bad and you go hard on yourself, it's not enough. Next time you fall victim, you are obviously going to fall victim. Even though you journal, you're still going to fall victim of those things. But then over time is how you would be able to, when you review your journal, you see the pattern and you'll be able to rectify those issues as time goes on. So I just thought to let her know, take note, you gotta journal everything and that. And then what is trading psychology? Trading psychology just simply means the ability of you being able to stick to your rules that you set for yourself consistently, being able to stick to the system that you operate on, whether on losing streaks, whether on winning streaks, you're just gonna be executing like a robot. Because the whole concept of this thing is what you're trying to do. The framework I gave you for entries, how to find entries, is a system, right? But then you just gotta be a robot to be executing it, like without interfering. There's high chances you feel comfortable executing when things are going well. But then when you hit one, two, three losses back to back, you start wanting to change some things. You think that the problem is the system. No, that's where trading psychology and discipline comes, sticking through the thick and thin. That's why before you start executing any system, you go over and back test and see and have and gather evidence that this thing works. This thing works because market conditions change because of a whole lot of other factors I told you. But then it doesn't mean when you're in a losing streak, you go starting looking for another strategy, start looking for system. That's the mistake many people do, and that's why they spend so much time going in spiral, not going anywhere, but making moves. You don't gotta change a system that works. All you need to do is just keep executing like a robot. So long as it made profit for you, it would again if you do not interfere. So that's what trading psychology is. So a whole lot of emotional mistake beginner traders. I won't just say beginners because this is a human problem, not because you can't filter away your emotions away from you. That was how we were built, and these emotions can make you start doubting that thing that used to work for you when you hit one losses, two losses. But then that's what differentiates between professional traders and unprofessional traders, right? So I told you the two major emotions involved that you're going to be battling with is fear and greed. Fear of losing your money, fear of hitting losses, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out means, example, uh, we have a zone. So maybe you've been expecting price in this zone. You've been waiting for like days. Okay, let's say hours. You've been waiting, right, for this zone, and this zone finally breaks out, and then went, and your discipline is except price comes to this zone, you're not going to follow price and trade. And then maybe price came to this level and you saw that like it's moving, it's not gonna reach it, then you went on ahead and took the trade without it reaching your zone, all because you didn't want to it to leave you. That's what we call that's one scenario of fear of missing out. Because question you need to ask yourself before you enter any trade is, where is your stop loss going to be? But then you didn't care, you just entered, and then unfortunately for you, you get hurt, right? That's one scenario. Another scenario is price maybe has come to this level, maybe you weren't attentive enough or something, and then price decides to, maybe at this point it was the point you were supposed to enter, and then maybe you got distracted or something, and price started leaving that level and it has left that position significantly. But then because of the pain of you've been waiting, you don't care, you just follow price and just hit pull the trigger from wherever it is. That's another scenario of fear of missing out. And you would hear this, and you are hearing it from me that it's not a good trait, but then this is money matters. You fall victim still, but then remember to journal everything, the good days, the bad days, the sad days, everything. Capture data. That's the only way to grow. Not you feeling bad, not you complaining, not you saying you will not do it again. No. Try to gather data. So example is fear of missing out. Example of greed, maybe this is your target. You did 1 to 2. Your target was supposed to be 1 to 2 risks to reward. Right? But then price, you saw momentum was coming, price was coming, and you saw that it was almost here. You increase your lot, you take profit. You see that price is coming, you increase your target, that you want more money. You see, it's another form of greed. Another form of greed is you've already decided that per trade idea you want to be risking $50, but then you took the first one and you made $100. Then the next one you're like, yeah, you hit 3 consecutive win or 5 consecutive win, you start feeling invisible. You that was using 0.02, 0.03 at $50 risks, you won't care again. You feel like you're the new Jeffrey Benson in the building and happy. Then you go on to increase your lot size to maybe 0.5 or one lot on a $500 account. That's the day you understand. That's the day you would understand that, yeah, actually. So you being able to stick consistently to a system is what trading psychology is, and discipline. Whether you're winning, you stick to the same thing. Whether you're losing, you stick to the same thing. Do you understand? So all these things, the whole adventure is a fun one. So I hope you are here for the long term, because there's going to be a whole lot of ups and downs. But then throughout the process, open your mind to learning, open your mind to growth, because that's the only way to grow. You're gonna go through good periods, you're gonna go through bad periods, but then that's what differentiates a professional from someone who's just an average trader out there, is all these things. So if you notice in the previous video and in this lesson, all I've been speaking is, it has nothing to do with higher highs and higher lows again, or finding opportunities or buying. No, everything I've been saying is reflection on you as a trader, because you are going to be the hindrance to a system that works for you. Not the system, not the market, but you, because you are human. So yeah. So another thing we're gonna be looking at, once you uh, aside the emotional fear and greed, is over trading or revenge trading. A scenario of this is over trading. You've already said that in a day you are willing to risk $50. After that, you will not trade again, or maybe $100 out of your $1,000 that you've said that you are comfortably okay losing 500, and then you made a plan and say 50, $50. which gives you 10 trials, and in a day you are willing to use 2 trials, then you enter a trade, it goes in your direction, you win. But then somehow something happened, you saw another opportunity and entered another trade, you hit a loss, which took back that profit that I gave you. Guess what the average human mind will do? You would want to make that profit back, and you forgot that, like, whether no profit or not, you've already hit that target, or you are almost approaching that target to that you set for the day, that, like, that limit that you are not going to trade. A voice will come to you that just take this trade, just enter this trade so that you make the profit back, and you call it a day instead of you to just call it a day. Then you go ahead, you enter the trade, you get hit. At that point, your emotion, you've started messing with your head already. Another voice comes again to say to take another trade so that you recover and just balance up. You take another loss. You see, you are no longer trading. You are fighting with your emotion, with your ego already, and you're already distorted. And the best thing for you to do is just switch everything off and walk away. Because what you should always, I want you to always remember, is this market has been there before you were born, and it will continue to be there even after I am no more. And every day there's going to be opportunity. But question is your money, is your capital still going to be there for you to be able to take this opportunity? You can't fight with the market. The market is, this is $1 trillion market. These banks trade in billions of dollars. So with your little 1,500, you have no chance. So that's why you gotta be wise. You cannot fight with the market. You cannot revenge on the market. Once your limits that you set for yourself, just be humble enough. Leave it. Go take a rest. Clear your head and come back another day. Because in a week we have 5 trading days. For those that trade commodities and stuff, but then crypto like BTC run over the weekend 247. But then we have 5 trading days, Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday market are closed, and it's open Monday. Do you understand? So always know this and preserve capital at all costs. Revenge trading is similar. They are around the same range with overtrading. Yeah, overtrading is most times when you are making profit, you want to make more profit, and it causes you to go and trade. You that are supposed, you've said that you are only taking 2 opportunities or 2 trades in a day. Before you know it, you are already taking 8 trades, 10 trades, 9 trades without you even realizing it, because of just one single mistake. Revenge trading is you taking is the instance I gave you where you made a loss and you are trying to recover that loss, and you go and hit another loss, and you want to recover that loss and you hit another loss. Before you know it, boom, 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 you won't recognize the face of your account again. At that point, you are already affected mentally because you are already distorted. So do not do anything that will distort your internal balance, right? So that's why these rules I told you before you start, you already said these rules, and you're gonna only need to simple and short, just stick to them. Don't have any ego, just be humble, and just if you are humble and operate like a robot, just you'll be fine. But you cannot operate as a robot, especially when your money is involved. You start, so yeah. So I treated what FOMO is. FOMO means fear of missing out. Example I give, where I'm trying to follow price. The thing is, the rule is, when price gets to your level, and maybe for whatever reason you missed it at that level, it's better for you to allow that trade idea pass, because and come back tomorrow again and sugars following price. Because what you don't know is the price difference here and here is not the same, because where is your stop loss going to be? And the fact that market is moving doesn't give you the guarantee that you cannot reverse And market doesn't move in a straight way. It moves, it's messy sometimes. So it might come to entry, hit you, and move your direction. So when price leaves your zone, no need to pursue that price. Just leave it. If you don't have another asset, just let it be. Right. So this whole thing, I told you you have to wait for structure to form. For you to wait for structure to form and a high being broken, it takes a whole lot of discipline, right? So let me teach you one thing that's gonna help you, especially if you use trading view, right? A whole lot of patience. When you come to the market, do your analysis, and maybe there's a zone like you're waiting for. You don't have to stick around in the chart and sit down and be looking at it. When you've marked a zone, maybe price broke this level and you said that, it's when you come back for a retest that and you see your confirmation around that zone that you're going to buy. Easy thing for you to do is come here, use this plus sign, press and add alerts, and then go about your day. Especially if you set with your email. What this you've done, it helps you to, you know, whenever price crosses this line and is approaching this zone, they'll send you an alert that it's crossing on your phone, on your email. So that's when you come back to the market and now want to like wait and see as regards you waiting because there's high tendency when price breaks this level and you're seeing it's going up like it doesn't want to come back and retest to, and you don't want to miss. So then you now just go ahead and just maybe go and buy from this zone that you're not supposed to. So for you to help yourself mentally and make it easy for you to not just be looking at the chart, because you don't have to just, once you come do your analysis, mark your zones. Next thing is to wait for it to meet that criteria, and it takes a whole lot of patience, hours, sometimes days for it to form. So for easy thing, just use alerts and then you'll be fine. And then building a winning mindset. Building a winning mindset, before I get to that, you're going to do yourself a whole lot of good when you consume. You know, we as humans is what we impute that we are exposed. So, what are you imputing in your head to your subconscious? So, I'm gonna be recommending you read books and watch videos of traders like Mark Douglas. Um, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, Discipline Trader, Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler, you know, to fill in your mind and give you that balance, and for you to understand what this trading thing is from the classic people that wrote about it in the 18th century, 19th century, not these things we see. There's a whole lot of noise in our world today as regards this trading thing, especially if you're in Nigeria and this place, there's a whole lot of pressure. So if you go about listening to this person, listening to that person, tomorrow you're this person, you're gonna confuse yourself, but it's not gonna reflect. It's going to be reflecting in your results. So you don't want to overload yourself with different, info. It's good to learn, but then you gotta be careful because you could easily get confused. This one is saying this, that one is saying this one is saying that one. It's gonna find somewhere to mess in your head. So one of the things I do personally, I guard my mind, especially from social media. Except for YouTube, I try to contain the kind of content I consume, especially from so-called successful traders online. You are on your own, you are following your process, you are being patient. All of a sudden, you see someone post he made $20,000 from a $20 deposit. This one made $1,000 from this deposit. This $1,000. You think it will not affect you, but next time when you come to the chat, somehow that thing will find a way affecting you, and then you will now be thinking it's the system, it's a strategy that's not working, it's this. Meanwhile, you are the one affecting the whole thing. But then, like I told you, humans are we're designed to adapt to what we see. So what's here now? What are you seeing? What are you consuming in your mind? Very important. So because you have to guard your mind, because most of the things you're gonna be doing is dependent on you. So don't mess your head up. Consume positive information, books, just to keep still laws of human nature. There's a whole lot of book recommendation. If you want book recommendation, just let me know in the comments. I'm going to be replying my comments and dropping recommendations to help you guys grow, to help you grow. This thing is a journey, so no need to rush your process. Just enjoy the journey, and yeah, just stay disciplined to your rules and stick to what works. Document your journey either in video form, start a YouTube, speak about what you are learning, so that because there are some times you'll be winning, but then when losing streak comes, you'll be confused. So if you don't journal, how are you going to know what you were doing right when things were going right for you, and how are you going to know what you were doing wrong when things are going wrong for you? So that's why it's important to journal every part of the process, because when you come and review, you find patterns that, oh, in this period, look at what I was doing, or look at what I was seeing, or look at what was making me enter, or oh, this period I'm losing, I'm not seeing me doing that same thing that I'm doing. There's some sort of problem. Maybe a personal issue with someone, with your wife, with your girlfriend, or something is affecting you, or your kids, or your friend. That can affect you too. Every little thing can just. So that's what will help you uncover. You don't just leave it in your head like. So that's one of the way that journaling is what will help you grow and rectify your problem. Then, as much as possible, try to go over previous data and back test and back test and back test and practice and practice and practice. Different models, so that when they present themselves again, when you see them on the chart, you are not doubting, you are not second guessing, you are going after what you know. Because there's a difference, again, I repeat, from what you know and acting on what you know. You might know something, but executing on it is a whole different thing. So that's the thing. And then at this point, I would want to draw the curtain. I would like to call it a day. And if you did enjoy this series and it was helpful to you, drop it in the comment, drop appreciation in the comment, because it took me a whole lot to put this together. And if there's any concept, if there's anything that you're not clear on, drop it. I'm going to be reading and I'm going to be responding. You can reach out to me on my Telegram, and reach out to me on any of my social. Let's connect. If you got business for me, I'm open to that. I'm open to whatever it is, grow to help you grow. And if there's a way you too wanna help me grow, fine. Let's grow together and meet at the top. But then, congratulations once again. At this point, consuming this, you should be able to. You are now a trader. So now the remaining journey is for you, self journey, where you're gonna be on by yourself and learning from your mistake and your wins. And I wish you guys a very, very profitable one ahead. And I wish you a successful journey. It's a tough one, but then if you can succeed, the upside, the potential is endless. So yeah, that's basically it. It was amazing being with you guys through this series. Make sure you carry out the tasks in previous videos that were asked to take if you haven't. So I remain Ghana Joshua Della, media analyst, your host. Yeah, see you on the next one. Any ideas about any new information I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. So hit that subscribe button. One way to show me love, subscribe, so we grow the channel. My target is to reach, you know, out to more people. Like if this was helpful, if you subscribe and share, it's going to help other people just like it did help you. So yeah, I'll see you guys again. Stay safe, stay frosty, enjoy your journey to profitability, and see you at the top.